Okay, good afternoon. My name is Trevor Brown. I'm the Dean of the John Glenn College of Public Affairs here at Ohio State University. It's a pleasure to welcome you. I'm here and welcoming you on behalf of not just the Glenn College and Ohio State University, but also Franklin County and the city of Columbus. So, as all of you know, as your jackets and your clothes are a little damp right now, it is a miserable, miserable day outside. And we apologize for that. We had originally planned to do this event outside on the steps of Page Hall, a wonderful setting, lovely out there in the sun in particular. But the rain conspired against us and we had to come inside to seek shelter from the storm. And that's comforting. And at the end of the day, I know, and I'm sure all of you too are in a similar circumstance, or at least I hope you are, you know that you can get in your cars and drive home and go and be comfortable in your home, protected from the nasty elements that are outside. That, for me, gives me the confidence and the comfort every day that I can go to work, I can care for myself, I can care for my family, knowing that there is a place of shelter for them and for me. And it allows me to do the things that are productive in the world. I can contribute to my own growth, I can contribute to the college, I can contribute to the community. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody who lives in Columbus and Franklin County. In fact, many of you have probably seen the startling headlines that this region has some of the highest, if not the highest, eviction rate in all of Ohio. That means that in any given day, there are people in days like this that are being asked to leave their homes. There are all sorts of reasons for it, but it's a startling circumstance. And it's one that begs for solutions. We immediately want to run to how can we fix this problem? Well, one of the things that we do here at the Glenn College, and it's the reason we're here with our collaborators and partners from the county and the city, is that we teach our students that before you run to solutions, you have to diagnose the problem. You have to understand the root causes of why we have this alarming eviction rate. So we know that ultimately we need to move towards solutions that engage the public sector, the private sector, and the nonprofit sector. But to do that wisely, it needs to be informed by rigorous analysis. So we're here to announce today that in partnership with the City of Columbus and Franklin County, we are devoting resources here at the Glenn College and across the university to help understand why it is that the eviction rate is so high here in the region. Why is it that so many individuals and families are being asked to leave their homes and their shelter? One of the driving missions of the Glenn College is to provide knowledge for action for public decision makers. So this partnership is very much in line with that core mission of the college. One of the reasons when Senator Glenn devoted not just his name, but also his energy and his spirit was the hope that this academic institution would be able to contribute to something positive beyond just educating students. It would be educating students to go off to do good in the world and make a positive difference. So the benefits for the college are very clear, and hopefully these are benefits for the partnership as a whole. The first is to provide a more complete understanding of the causes of the rising eviction rates here in Columbus. But second, to establish a working partnership with the City of Columbus and Franklin County that we hope becomes a model for similar kinds of inquiries into other important policy problems that the city faces. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to one of my partners, Councilmember Jaiza.
Thank you so much, Dean Brown, and thank you for hosting us and for also giving your students the opportunity to participate with us and partner with us. Again, good afternoon, everyone. As Dean Brown was saying, unfortunately, our capital city has an unusually high rate of evictions, and the Franklin County Municipal Court processes the largest volume of eviction cases throughout the state of Ohio. Nearly 18,000 eviction notices are filed each year in Franklin County alone. This is a crippling reality that my partners and I would like to analyze and comprehend. Due to this, we wanted to create a strong partnership which combines excellent leadership and resources from a tremendous university, The Ohio State University, the Franklin County Commissioner's Office with Commissioner Marilyn Brown, who is with us today, and the City of Columbus to combat this eviction rate. We must identify the underlying causes of eviction in order to offer answers, and our goal is to create solutions that keep families in safe and affordable homes, which is where they belong. We will be using an ethnographic approach to the study, meaning crafting policy using residents' testimonies along with strategies that are working in other cities around the country. Also, this study is doing more than simply asking questions. We are listening to people's life stories and crafting policy around solving those issues. This study is not an indictment on anyone. It is a chance to come together as a community and to create lasting change that will keep Columbus moving forward. I would now like to introduce my friend and my colleague, County Commissioner Marilyn Brown, who has worked for families in this county for many years. Commissioner Brown.
So I'd like you to imagine, what would you do if you got sick, you missed a few days of work, and as a result you lost your job? Rent is due on that day that you would have gotten paid, and you didn't get paid because you lost your job. You lost that job, and you needed medicine for that illness that you had. Your landlord says you needed to pay up, or you couldn't stay in that place. Well, guess what? You could get evicted if you didn't pay that month's rent. If you didn't have a workout, which I know Community Mediation Services, which is here today, could help you do, what would you do? Where would you go? Where would your children go? Where would they go to school? These are gut-wrenching questions that we ask ourselves if we're in that situation. Nobody should be in that situation, and yet so many of our residents are. Nobody, I'm telling you, nobody should be in that situation. But these are the factors we seek to understand with this study. We know illness is but one of many reasons that cause people to lose a job, need to make hard choices that lead to eviction. Imagine making the choices you would need to make. And moving with an eviction record on your record makes it more difficult to find a good place to live. The spiral begins, and you need to start looking in another neighborhood, maybe not as good a neighborhood. Maybe your children need to move to another school district. Again, a cycle continues downward. Your children need to move to another school district, maybe not as good. More family stress. Last year, I was tapped to chair a task force looking at preventing homelessness. The issue of eviction rose to the top of concern by many of our group as an important issue to tackle. And that's why I'm here today with my friend and colleague, Councilwoman Jaiza Page, who served on that task force, and with OSU John Glenn College Dean Trevor Brown to study why a high eviction rate exists in our great community. And we do have a great community. I'm hopeful we'll find some good policy solutions we can work on to help our families become more stable in this community. And I thank you again for your attention. I thank you for being here today. And Dean Brown, thank you for offering your help in this important issue. And I'd like to bring up again, Councilwoman, my friend, Jaiza Page, to wrap up today and to get into next steps.
Again, I would like to just ask everyone to reflect on Dean Brown and Commissioner Brown's comments, and also become a Brown, because they're pretty awesome people. But, you know, we think, especially on a day like this, when there are families who were in court this morning because the eviction was filed, or other families who received a notice on their door on this rainy day. And just think 18,000 notices being filed, and the instability that it causes, whether or not you actually end up being evicted, but just knowing that that's a possibility that maybe none of us in this room have ever had to really contemplate. So again, our goal here is to examine the underlying cause of evictions and the high eviction rate here in this county. There is no simple solution, which explains the critical need for the study and partnership regarding this crisis. I would also like to acknowledge First Lady Shannon Ginther and the Women's Commission, who will be doing a lot of great work in this area as well, and convening the conversation on housing and evictions. I again like to thank my cohorts in this ongoing effort, The Ohio State University and the John Glenn College of Public Affairs, Dean Brown, the Franklin County Commissioner's Office, Commissioner Marilyn Brown, and my colleagues at Columbus City Council, and we do have with us this afternoon Councilmember Shannon Hardin. Lastly, thanks for everyone for being here on this rainy day, and we look forward to the outcome of this study. Thank you.